Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Neo Marketing Podcast. We are coming to you from the University of Oklahoma Innovation Hub on the campus in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm here with Pritch as always, and today we're going to talk about elements of a successful campaign.
Welcome to the weekly Neo Marketing Podcast, featuring one half of the Golden Goose C-Suite, Kyle Golding and Pritch Pritchard, APR PRSA Fellow.
Pritch, good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Yeah, it's great to be here.
So
Innovation Hub,
right?
baby.
We're in a fantastic
This
space
is
today.
phenomenal.
For those of you listening on the podcast and you can't see the video, go see the video because this place is really cool. The Innovation Hub at the University of Oklahoma, where Pritch is a professor. How long has this building been here?
Not long. It's a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
It's amazing.
Have a maker space around the corner. They do all kinds of classes. It's just a phenomenal space. I was really pleased. Not that we had to do this here necessarily, but that we are here and that we're doing it.
Well, I'm happy this space is available for us and for the community as well.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right into today's topic. Elements of a successful campaign. Everyone wants to know how to make a marketing campaign, a PR campaign, a community campaign, anything that you're doing that's not a single time. How does it become successful? My number one key is consistency. I'm a huge believer and champion of consistency. There's nothing I hate worse than seeing someone do something 1 or 2 or 3 times and then giving up on it.
Right. Then it becomes a project, not a campaign.
Right, exactly. And those little one-offs, if you don't have the patience to follow a full campaign, you're not really going to move an audience to where you want them to be, specifically if it's so far as to spend money or make some sort of commitment.
Right, absolutely. My number one is research. Nobody likes to hear research, nobody wants to pay for it, but if you don't have that as your foundation, you're just guessing, and this is not a world that we can guess in.
One of the reasons I think people don't want to do research too, really. One is, I don't think they know how, and so they don't really find it enjoyable.
Right.
You kind of have to be a little bit of a data nerd like you and I to really find research enjoyable. There are people who like it, but I think a lot of business owners don't like it.
Right.
So they don't want to do it, number one. Number two, the idea of a quick Google search is research.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. It's not at all.
That's not enough depth.
Not at all.
Especially to make business decisions that you're going to spend money behind, right?
And for me, one of the most important outcomes of that research is understanding your target stakeholders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually my number 2.
Yeah.
Perfect segue.
There we go.
Is your audience.
Yeah.
You can't do a campaign simply to do a campaign. You definitely shouldn't be doing just general we exist type marketing or any other type of communication. You absolutely need to be speaking directly to an audience with a specific message tailored and crafted to that audience, and then customized for the channel you're delivering.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the most important things to understand, I think, in terms of audience or stakeholder, regardless of whichever approach you take, is you have to understand pain points, you have to understand motivations, you have to understand behaviors, you have to understand their goals. I mean, if you don't understand those 4 things, you're just whistling Dixie.
And I'm very happy that you distinctly separate stakeholders and audience, because a lot of people want to lump them in together, but your audience is who you're attracting to, who you're bringing along, but stakeholders are already here and motivated completely differently.
Absolutely.
So you have to focus on that audience if you're going to be effective with that audience, right?
Yep, you bet. And a stakeholder is an audience. Sometimes they're active, sometimes they're not. But if they are affecting or affected by your organization, they're a stakeholder and you need to pay attention to them.
Absolutely. And my last top tip, if you will, is customization. It is that it has to be a specific campaign for a specific cause, specific audience, message, and timetable.
Yep.
For it to be measured, and if you can't measure it, then you're really, again, like you were saying, it's a little bit of a hobby. You're just playing around.
Well, I'm glad there. And once again, we match up because the second most important thing for me are objectives. And I'm sorry to say that we do not do a good job in our profession at putting objectives together, because we forget they're supposed to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and there's got to be a time frame. If you put your objectives together, your measurement at the other end is pretty simple. People don't take the time, and it's based on research.
It is.
We don't do research, so we don't have any idea what our numbers need to look like.
Or they're afraid of missing the number.
Right.
which is actually fine. Sometimes
okay.
you can't get too uptight about your numbers, because whether you hit them or miss them, there's data there that tells you what you did right and wrong and what you can do better in the future.
And you
right?
can adjust to that
Right.
the next time.
Too many people are afraid the client's going to get mad if I don't hit the number, so I don't create the number to begin with, which is a chicken and egg scenario, but in reverse.
Right. And I advocate for stretch goals. I mean, there's stretch objectives. If you're not stretching, then what the heck are you doing? You're marking time. So I would not be afraid of not hitting my numbers unless I have grossly underhit and then something's very wrong with the campaign. Probably because you didn't do the dadgum research.
That's right, because it was based probably more on an idea you liked or your ego and not data that the audience is giving you.
Seat of the pants.
There it
Doesn't work.
is. There it is. And it always comes back full circle, everyone. That's how it happens. We're going to leave you guys with that today. We're at the University of Oklahoma. This is an awesome space. If you're listening on the podcast, go find this video on YouTube and see a little bit of the space. I might try to shoot some B-roll later. And we'll definitely link to it. And if you're anywhere in the Midwest, you should be knowing about this
Absolutely. It's open to everybody. Just give them a call and tell them what your needs are.
That's right. We'll be here again next time. So tune in then on the Neo Marketing Podcast. Thank you and good luck.
Ciao.